You ever notice how people love to tell young, new, inexperienced dads a few of these phrases? Don't blink. Make the most of right now. It goes by so fast. And it sounds encouraging on the surface until you're lying in bed at night wondering if you're missing your kid's childhood while trying to secure their future. Or you're on the floor playing with Legos with your son and your brain is calculating bills in the background because when you've got a 5-year-old and a 3-year-old and you're trying to be present and provide and build something meaningful, that phrase can start feeling less like wisdom and more like pressure. If you've ever felt that dad guilt for thinking about the future while holding your toddler in the present, this video is for you. And I'm going to show you how to stop feeling torn between presence and provision and build a rhythm that protects both. But first, what's up, fam? I'm Wallace. I'm a coach. I help Christian men who are successful on the outside and wrestle with identity and pressure and purpose on the inside. And I'm living this out too. I'm a husband, a dad of 2 little ones, building vision while trying not to lose my soul in the process. Today, we're talking about that tension that most dads just won't say out loud. How do you be fully present while also feeling called to provide more? Let's talk about it. It's 6:38 a.m. Your 5-year-old walks in coughing, still getting over the flu, and then your 3-year-old kicks you in your side because she's been sleeping next to you half of the night, also sick. Your wife is getting ready for work, and you are exhausted. You're behind on emails. You've got content to record. You're thinking about how you're going to cover this bill and that expense. You're thinking about the future. And then there's that voice from a recent conversation echoing and ping-ponging in your head. Don't blink. And suddenly what should have felt like a great, sweet moment feels like a test that you're about to fail. That's not fatherhood, friend. That is performance anxiety dressed up in dad's clothes. And here's what's happening underneath. You've subtly adopted this formula of be emotionally present, be spiritually intentional, be financially strong, be a visionary, be patient, be playful, never miss a moment, never waste a season. Brother, that's not a calling, that's an impossible standard that you're never going to meet. And impossible standards create quiet anxiety. Most men aren't failing at fatherhood, they're trying to perform to perfection flawlessly, and you will never achieve perfection. When people say don't blink, most of the time, it isn't for you. They're unintentionally projecting and processing their own internal regret. Sometimes don't blink really means I blinked and I wish I hadn't, so you please don't blink either. They blinked. They worked too much. They missed moments and regret transferred becomes pressure received. But you don't need to freeze time, friend. You need rhythms. Your kids won't remember constant emotional intensity. They'll remember patterns. The Saturday pancakes, the bedtime prayers, the way you looked at them when they talked to you, full undivided attention. That's the consistency of safety that they will remember. See, presence isn't fireworks, it's repetition. It's showing up daily. Now, let's be honest. Some of you watching this have been deeply present fathers. Some of you have even structured your whole entire life around being at home. And for that, you should be applauded. But now there's this internal shift happening. You feel the pull and the call to build, to provide more, to stabilize financially, to expand. And here is the lie that is creeping in when that happens. If I lean into provision, I'm betraying presence. If you are constantly feeling guilty, that's not conviction, friend. That's confusion. Provision is not the opposites of presence, absence is. That's the difference. But the real shift isn't in your calendar, it's in your heart's posture. Now, let me give you 3 words that have been reshaping all of this for me. The first word is recognize. You are not the provider of your home. God is. You are the steward, the shepherd. And a steward manages what has been entrusted to him. And a shepherd leads and protects what belongs to someone else. This family of yours is God's first. When you believe that you're the ultimate provider, pressure will crush you. But when you remember that you were the son, the steward, the shepherd, pressure refocuses you. And then the second word, release. Release the need to control what's never yours to control in the first place. You can't control the economy. You can't control the future. You can't even control how fast your kids grow or what they want to eat that day. But anxiety comes from trying to manage outcomes, and faith manages obedience. God manages outcomes. You just keep putting in consistent effort and put into what God has called and created you to do and let Him handle the outcomes. And then the third word, hold on, if you're watching this and you don't have life insurance, we need to have an honest conversation, bro. I get it. You think you're invincible. You think it won't happen to you, but here is the brutal truth. No one likes to say out loud, your family's financial future should not depend on you living forever. The smartest dads, they're not hoping for the best, they're planning for it today. And here is the part that surprises most people. It's way simpler than you think and way more affordable. No medical exams, no complicated paperwork, no awkward, stuffy office visit. It's 100% online and takes merely minutes and protects the people who matter most to you. We're talking to $700K to $1 million in coverage for less than most families spend on streaming services and groceries. Don't be the dad without a protection plan. Hope isn't a strategy, protection is. Stop putting it off and get covered today. And if you want to learn more, simply text me life insurance to 214-449-9834 and I'll get back to you with more details. Now back to today's episode. And then the third word, rest. And when I say rest, I'm not meaning inaction. I'm not meaning to be a couch potato, ultimate lazy procrastinator. I mean choosing a posture that trusts God more than your own striving. Rest is still working hard, but without wearing the weight alone. Rest is building without panic. Rest is playing on the floor with your kids without mentally rehearsing worst case scenarios. Rest says, I will be faithful and God will be sufficient. So what does that look like practically? Anchoring key moments. There's 3 key moments to be most present in your kid's life. That's when they first wake up, when you first see them either after school or after work, in bedtime. Those small minutes of undistracted play, that bedtime eye contact and prayer, that one intentional sentence spoken over and declared to your children. That's it. Everything else is just bonus. You don't need 12 magical hours. You need 20 anchored minutes. Children grow in security through patterns, not perfection. And you're doing better than you think. And here's where most dads sabotage themselves. They have blurry boundaries. You're working while you're playing while you're thinking about money. You're everywhere and nowhere at the same time. Try this instead. When you work. I look at it like putting on different hats. Like I've got this dad gang hat, and then I also have a hat for my podcast. And it's almost like a physical anchor to realize when the dad cap is on, I'm in dad mode. Forget about work. It will be there when it's time to work. And then on the flip side, when I'm in work mode, I'm focused in on work mode, knowing that the responsibility of being a dad is important. And if there was an emergency, obviously go and take care of that. But knowing the separation of the integration of both. Focus intensity. So when you're home, be home. When you're at work, be at work. Put your phone down. Eyes locked into what matters. Your body relaxed. Be where your feet are. Because blurry boundaries create guilt. And clear boundaries create peace. And here is the deeper truth. You are not responsible for freezing time. You are responsible for stewarding. Time belongs to God. Presence is your offering. Your children don't need a father who's panicked about losing moments. They need a father who's emotionally regulated. Anxiety is contagious. Peace is too. Anger is contagious. Calm, steady faith is too. Let me give you a question that will cut through all of the noise. When your child is 30 years old and describing you, what do you want them to say? Stewardship is measured patterns, not imperfection. And here's another real question for you. What does that actually require daily? Not ideally, not hypothetically, not Instagram version worthy, daily. You probably will find it's less dramatic and less intensive than you think. And I get it. I've wrestled with this personally. There are days I feel torn. There are nights I'm sitting on the floor playing with my kids and my brain is running numbers in the background and I hate it. And I want to build something generationally. I want financial stability. I want margin. I want impact. And I also want to wrestle on my bed with my son and not think about spreadsheets or not think about the next thing that I have to post or put out. And the tension isn't weakness, it's maturity. You see, a boy only thinks about now. And a provider only thinks about later. And a father learns to hold the tension of both. You are a man, mighty man of God, and you are fully capable to walk as a steward and as a shepherd of your home. And in doing so, you are allowed to build without guilt, rest without panic, work without shame, play without pressure. You don't need to maximize and be the most effective, most efficient every second of every minute of every day. You just need to anchor what matters most in this current season. So if you're feeling this tension this week, type in the one that feels heaviest for you right now: presence or provision. I do my best to read every comment and message that comes into this channel. Let's build something together. I really feel like this community is so special and dear to my heart, and I want to see you thrive as husbands, fathers, and leaders, and the men that God has called and created you to be. And if you were a dad who's done performing and ready to lead with peace, subscribe. Join this community. Reach out to me personally. Because here's the thing, this channel is for you. And I want to encourage you with this. You are not behind. You are not behind. You are doing better than you think. You're the right man, the right place at the right time. You have the grace to be your kid's father. You have the grace to be your wife's husband, and vice versa. You are not failing. You are not blinking too much. You are walking faithfully through a season that was never meant to be micromanaged, only stewarded. Anchor the moment, build the clarity, and let God handle the rest. And as always, friend, I'm praying for you. I love you. Now let's go conquer this week as we learn to recognize we're stewards, not the provider, to release control to God, and to rest and trust in His plans for our lives. Now let's go live better than best, and I'll see you in this next video.